Questions to be considered while finding a caterer. In 10 years or somewhere in the vicinity, nobody is going to recollect the nourishment you serve at your wedding unless it was genuinely terrible. Still, while your visitors arrive, it is not an awful thing to serve flavorful substance that everybody can appreciate. You don't, as a matter of course, need fine gourmet cooking, simply all-around arranged nourishment that gives everybody the vitality they have to dance the funky chicken. Obviously, to convey, however, not all cooks are made equivalent. Here are few things you ought to consider before you make that contract. Do you provide sit-down, buffet, or both? In your brain, you're most likely to have thought on the off chance that you need a buffet style or sit-down plated gathering. Check whether the cook can bolster either kind of gathering in light of the fact that a few food providers might not have the staff to do a plated dinner while others won't have the hardware for a buffet. Who handles setup and who serves? After you have chosen the buffet or plated feast, figure out all that you can about how do they set up and serving of the food. In the event that the dinner is plated, ensure the food provider will have every one of the plates, trays, and so forth. They are supposed to have those. However, it never hurts just to make sure. On the off chance that the food provider is doing a buffet-style gathering, ask whether they will give the warming components, warming plates, designs for the buffet zones, and so on. Likewise, regardless of what sort of supper you have, ask whether the food provider has the staff to serve the dinner. This is really a more noteworthy concern with buffet-style suppers, which can profit by having somebody disturbing nourishment and guaranteeing every individual gets a single serve. Who deals with table settings? Directly after you are certain of how the substance will be served, figure out who will design the tables. Give the spot settings, plates, flatware, and so forth. A few cooks will give all that you require, others won't. One is not inexorably superior to the next, particularly since giving your own place settings guarantee they will coordinate your stylic layout superbly. Yet principally, it is essential to recognize what you must pay for while planning, what choices you have for substitute diets. As you pour through your visitor records, you will likely go over visitors who need sans gluten, veggie lovers or vegetarians, or without allergen diners. Ensure that your food provider can bolster only one extraordinary supper, or do you have to purchase a few? How costly would they say they are? How are they going to be served? How would they cost? Once you have made sense of what the cook will, won't do, then you can make sense of a last cost for the whole nourishment experience. Typically, food providers will allocate a cost for every individual for the supper. However, regardless, you have to ask a couple of more inquiries. In the cost per individual, taking into account aggregate number of RSVPs, or is it in view of who really appears at the entryway? What happens if more individuals appear? Maybe in particular, who claims the leftover? Most of the time, a wedded couple pays for a set number of individuals and less than that number appear. In any case, all the additional nourishment that the couple paid for vanishes, leaving the desperate lovebirds without a great deal of substance they paid for. Solicit the cook ahead from time what happens to remains and ensure what you get is what you purchased.